And welcome to the Bulloch Sports Report. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. Chilly temperatures coming up, and that's forced a couple of cancellations in area high school and postponement for the Georgia Southern men. They were scheduled to take on ULM Thursday in Monroe. Instead, that game has been pushed back. It will now be taking place Friday at 3 o'clock at Grambling State University. That game at 3 o'clock going on there at Grambling because of the weather and the impending weather they're expected there. As for the Georgia Southern women, they were able to get their game in on Thursday, and they're scheduled to play on Tuesday as well. The women right now are 16-5. The best starts that they've had, actually the best start in NCAA history for the Georgia Southern women. They'll be back in action on Saturday. We'll get back and show you some highlights from the women's matchup from Wednesday night and also the guys from Saturday. As for our area high school basketball teams, they're getting ready to wrap up the regular season, get ready for region play, region tournament play for the Statesboro Blue Devils. They've won their last 3 games for the guys. The girls have unfortunately lost their last 7. We'll send you out for a couple of games from Statesboro High. Playing Bulloch Academy this past Friday, and then on Tuesday knocking off in the boys game, they knocked off South Effingham. The girls lost a tight one to the Mustangs. We'll show you some highlights from that, as well as over at Bulloch Academy, the Gators splitting with Westminster, the girls losing a tough one, and the guys winning in overtime. We had a buzzer beater in that one. All that and more coming up on the Bulloch Sports Report. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com. Northside Drive behind Remax Eagle Creek Realty.
Pojo's Country Store is proud to support all Bulloch County and surrounding area athletics. We've been fueling up for almost 20 years with 3 locations in Statesboro and locations in Sylvania, Wadley, and Bagsley. Pojo's Country Stores is the real MVP. And a special shout out for our Bulloch Academy Gators. Go get them.
Well, the Georgia Southern men and women both in action over the last week. The guys unfortunately lost another tough game at home on this past Saturday. The women, meanwhile, won another game. They're 16-5 on the season. They'll be back at the Hill coming up on Saturday, but let's send you out for a couple of games from this past week. The Georgia Southern men's basketball team in action at the Hill hosting Arkansas State first half. Nakavion White driving in for the tough 2. On the other end, Ark State with the 3-pointer from TJ Caldwell from up top. Georgia Southern right back, Spud Webb driving, finishing with the left hand in traffic. The Red Wolves right back, Jackson Ellingsworth on the other end. Georgia Southern hitting the boards. Shannon Carter with the rebound and put back. Next, from the logo, Spud Webb. Nobody's on him. He pulls up, knocks it down. He'd have 14 to lead the Eagles. Then Nakavion White with 14 as well, including this tough shot here. Then it's Webb. The spin and off the glass for 2 more. Then the Eagles. Webb going outside, and a 3 here from Tyron Moore, but Arkansas State proving to be too much, and they'd go on to win 85-68. The Eagles looking to bounce back from that loss, hosting first place Troy on Saturday, second half, a close game. In the corner, Kari Dunn for 3, then Tyron Moore driving and getting the lefty layup to fall. Next, it's Zakivion White Nice look to Alden Applewhite, 2 of his 19. More from the Eagles. Applewhite behind the stripe, knocks down the 3. Tyron Moore off the mark, but White, the rebound and the putback. Troy able to retake the lead with the 3-pointer from Cooper Campbell. The Eagles respond. Applewhite off the mark. Spud Webb, the rebound and putback. He'd have 17 in the game. Then on the break, Dwayne Williams going in for the layup, cutting the lead to 1. White then finds Williams again, this time for 3. Georgia Southern with the lead. White will then hit another 3-pointer for Georgia Southern. But in the long run, Troy making a run. Victor Valdez, too much on this night. He'd have 22, and the Trojans win 83-78. The Georgia Southern women in action taking on Southern Miss. First half, Shantae Simmons driving in for the layup. Next, in the corner, Keisha Anderson left alone. Big mistake. She leads all scorers with 31. Next, the Eagles continue to feed Anderson. She hits once again. Southern Miss keeping it close with the basket here from Melanie Thames. But the Eagles in control. A nice drive here by Destiny Garrett, who'd finish with 16 points. And then on the break, a nice look inside to Leah Anderson. Georgia Southern up by 8. Anderson then spots Anderson for 2 more and the foul. And then Jamira Jones driving in for 2 more. Georgia Southern up by 10. Once again, Southern Miss trying to keep it close as Bella Gray hits here, but the Eagles with the answer first. The step back 3 coming up from Garrett. And finally, just before the end of the first half, Garrett will hit again. And the Eagles improved to 16-5 with the 70-67 victory. Next up for the women, they'll be back at the Hill coming up against Arkansas State. 2 o'clock tip-off at the Hill on Saturday. All right, stay with us. High school action coming up next. Gerard Pre-Owned of Statesboro voted best place to buy a pre-owned vehicle 12 years running. 3 decades of experience in serving our community. Locally owned and operated, every vehicle undergoes rigorous multi-point inspections and thorough reconditioning. Flexible financing for all credit types, whether you're starting fresh or building credit, they've got you covered. Experience the Gerard difference today. 2330 Northside Drive West in Statesboro. The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part thanks to Morris Bank, proud sponsor of our Player of the Week segment. Gerard Pre-Owned of Statesboro voted best place to buy a pre-owned vehicle 12 years running. 3 decades of experience in serving our community. Locally owned and operated, every vehicle undergoes rigorous multi-point inspections and thorough reconditioning. Flexible financing for all credit types, whether you're starting fresh or building credit, they've got you covered. Experience the Gerard difference today. 2330 Northside Drive West in Statesboro. The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part thanks to Morris Bank, proud sponsor of our Player of the Week segment. Well, plenty of our area high school teams vying for positions as the region tournaments come up. The Portal Panthers among those still battling for a region championship, and the Statesboro Blue Devil boys right now in second place as they've won 3 region contests in a row. We'll send you out for some highlights from the Glen Academy game from this past Friday, and then we'll take you back to Statesboro High for a couple of games with the boys and the girls taking on South Effingham, and then go back for some highlights from Bulloch Academy taking on Westminster. Bulloch Academy hosting Westminster, second half, a tight game. The Gators getting the rebound and the putback by Adley Davis. Later in the transition, it's Johnny Nutting finishing strong, tying things up. But the visitors answer as India Williams hits the hoop and the foul. She'd finished with 38 points. Later, nice passing, and Nutting 2 of her 19 points. Next, Nutting coming through with the rebound and the putback, tying the game. And then the outlet pass to Davis, who gets this one to go. And with just over 4 minutes to play, we're tied at 50 all. Williams, tough to stop her. She goes in for 2 more and the foul. The Gators answer once again with Nutting, but Westminster turns to Williams again, and they'd go on to win this one by a final score of 60-54. To the boys' game we go, and another tight one. We pick up the action in the fourth quarter. The Gators' Jack Neal coming through with the rebound and the putback. Westminster answers on the other end with the three-pointer here. The Gators down by 4, and they get a big 3 from the corner by Landon Mitchell. And then the loose ball corralled by Neal, who puts it in. The Gators down by 1 later, down by 3 seconds remaining in the game. J.B. Roach lets it fly at the buzzer, sending the game into overtime. Tied at 60 in OT, and J.B. Roach will drain another three-pointer from about the same spot, and then off the mark, but A.K. Watkins, the putback, and the Gators go on for a win, 72-67. The Statesboro Blue Devils hosting Brunswick for a key region matchup. Ladies first, the Blue Devils trying to dig their way out of a hole. The Samaya Gilbert hits for the hoop and the foul for Brunswick. And the other end, the Blue Devils trying to claw their way back. Kennedy Myers gets the bucket here. And then from the three-point line, it's Kayla Hunter hitting. But the Pirates just too much. The steal from Marcusa Burton, and she goes in for the easy basket. Brunswick wins 76-41. To the boys' game we go. Statesboro looking for some revenge from a 1-point loss a week ago, and they'd come out strong here in the second half. Charles Harris gets the tough basket inside. Next, Zacharion Griffin driving in for 2. Then Shyterius James takes it strong to the basket and gets the friendly roll. Brunswick comes back to make it close here with the basket from Gavin Creel. But Statesboro pulling away. Jacaden Cone hits the three-pointer. And then from about the same spot, Cone pulls up and does it again. And then James, the pull-up jumper here, showing the mid-range. And then Cone liking that spot he's been hitting from the right side, hits again. James then stepping back and burying the three-pointer to give Statesboro a 7-point lead. And then the Blue Devils working the ball around, and Beckham Gerard hits here in the lane. Then it's going to be a nice move by Cone. Gets this one to go. And then in the corner, Griffin for 3, and Statesboro wins 66-56. We move to Tuesday. It's Statesboro hosting South Effingham. The Lady Blue Devils in control here in the second half. Kennedy Myers follows her own miss and hits the bucket. And then it's Zoe Lundy driving in She gets this one off the backboard for 2. The nice backdoor cut here, and Morgan Freeman scores. But South Effingham starts to come back in the 4th. Hayden Johnson splits the defense for the easy basket. Statesboro answers with this one from Ivy Weaver. But South going on a run in the 4th. The 3-pointer from Kyla Schumann. Statesboro keeps it close as Myers goes up for another tough one, but South too strong in this game. Another 3, this one from Kaylin Chapman. They win 51-47. To the boys' game we go. Statesboro in control throughout. Jacaden Cone pulling up from just inside the 3-point line for the long 2. And then Shitarius James driving off the mark, but he finds his own rebound and puts it in. Cone later coming through with the backdoor cut. Pass to Xavier Spells for the hoop and the foul. And then Cone burying the 3-pointer. Back inside we go to Spells. Another 3-point play and 1 opportunity. The Blue Devils working the ball around nicely. And Cone finishing inside the up and under. And then Cone spots Beckham Gerard alone in the corner for the 3-pointer. Next, Cone inside again. Turnaround jumper is good. South trying to keep pace as somehow Quentin Williams throws this one in. But the Blue Devils just too much. Cone again. Another pull-up jumper that rattles on in. And finally, off the steal, Gerard going all the way in, and Statesboro wins by a final score of 74-54. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.